We're going to work on surface area and volume of a cylinder, and we have our object down here. Okay? We have two measurements they've given us. The measurement across the circle at the top of the cylinder is 5 feet. That's also known as diameter. Exactly. Okay? Something that's going to be important for what we're doing here. Diameter. Okay. And then the height of the cylinder, so we'll call this part H, is 6 feet tall. What we're going to work with first is we're actually going to solve the volume because the volume of this object will be easier. Anytime we're finding the volume of some type of prism, all you really need to do is find the area of the face. Okay? So in this case, the face of the cylinder is a circle. Once you find the area of the face, you just multiply by the height or the depth of the object. Think of it like you're stacking that area many different times, and the height is telling you how many times to stack something. Okay? So once we find, again, the area of the first face, you multiply by the height. Very simple. The difficult part might be the area of the face might be a bit complex to solve. For instance, what is the shape on the face of this object? Okay, so this is a circle, so I have to find the area of what? The circle, yeah. And what is the area of a circle? That's right. Pi r squared. What does r stand for in this question? Okay. Radius. Do I have the radius?
Yeah.
Not quite. How can I solve it?
Divide by 2.
That's right. We know that the diameter is twice a radius. So if the diameter is 5 feet, we just need to divide this 5 feet by the value of 2, and our radius is equal to 2.5. Okay. So now we can solve for the area of that circle. The area of the circle is equal to pi times 2.5 squared. So we're going to bring up our calculator here. 2.5 squared, 6.25. Okay. So the area of the circle is now pi times 6.25. And we multiply this value by pi. Do I have pi? Good. Times pi is equal to 19.63 approximately. Okay. 19.63. And now remember, I just solved the area, so it's technically 19.63 feet squared. Okay? But volume is actually three-dimensional. Now remember we talked about area being two-dimensional. That's really just looking up and down and left and right. Well, volume also has depth to it. So we're looking across something. Okay? We're looking up and down. And we're looking all the way down in terms of depth. That's why when we answer something in volume, we always put it in a cubed value at the end. Okay? So now that we have the area of this face, how do I solve the rest of this volume? What can I do? I have the area of the face. What would my next step be? Yeah.
We solve the area of the first circle.
Yeah. Okay, but we're not finding surface area. You're right. If we were finding surface area, we need to find the area of the bottom one. Remember I told you when we're finding area of some prism, we just got to find the area of a face, which we've just done, and we have to multiply by what's this? The height, or the depth. That's it. Okay? So for every prism, instead of really memorizing a formula for it, as long as you know your area formulas, you just find the area of a face and multiply whether you want to call it the depth or the height. So in this case, we just got to take our 19.63, okay, and we're going to call this now the volume of a cylinder. We're going to take that area of a circle times height, okay, because the circle was the face. So the area of the circle was 19.63, and the height of the cylinder was 6. We just multiply these two values, and we're going to be left with the volume of our object. Oops, wrong button. So 19.63, look, it's already up there. Great, I'll just multiply it by 6. 117.8, let's say. So 117.8. What are my units? Feet what? Cubed. Remember, volume is three-dimensional. So we're talking about 3 dimensions. We put a cubed at the end. Okay, so we found the volume. That's the first part. Check. The next part they wanted was surface area. Surface area is a little different. Surface area of this cylinder means we're going to need to find the area of this face. We'll need to find the area of the other face. And then of a cylinder, there's a circular part in the middle. Okay? Now, if you guys remember, if you pull out a cylinder, does anyone know what shape that circular part in the middle makes, Brendan? Yeah, that's right. It makes a rectangle. I think they call these webs or nets of an object. If we were to lay this object out, this cylinder, we'd have a circle, another identical circle, and then we would have a rectangle. Okay? What's happening is this rectangle is being wrapped around the circle. Okay, that's what's happening here. So this shape here is a rectangle. So luckily in our volume, we already found the area of one of the faces. Okay, so we're going to put this together as a formula. The surface area of the entire cylinder is the area of the top circle, so area of a circle, plus the area of another circle. They're identical. So if they're identical, what can I just do to find out the area of both of them quickly? Multiply by 2, exactly. And I'm going to put the area of a rectangle. I can simplify this. I can say 2 times the area of the circle plus the area of the rectangle. Okay? Since we already found the area of the circle, this is really simple. We can solve the very first part of this quickly. 2 times 19.63, because we had already found volume first. That helped us out. Again, still plus the area of the rectangle. But again. So 19.63 times 2, 39.26. Okay, 39.26, that's the area of those 2 circles together. So both of these, when we fill them in, are 39.26 feet squared. But we still need to find the area of the rectangle. So let's talk about this rectangle. First of all, I do know how far this distance is here. What is it? 6 feet. Great. But they haven't given me any information about the width or length, whatever you like to call it, of that part of the rectangle. How can I go about solving this? We do know it's related to the circle here, right? In fact, this rectangle does what around this circle? It wraps around it, right? So think of going around a circle. What's it called when you go around a circle? The circumference. In other words, since it perfectly wraps around, the circumference of this circle is actually the length of this rectangle, right? There's no overlap. It lines up perfectly. So instead of actually just guessing what this is, we're going to find the circumference of the circle on top, and that's going to give us the length of this rectangle. Now, does anyone remember what a circumference formula is? What is it? Not pi r squared, that's the area of a circle. Pi d. Very good. What is pi d? What does d stand for? So pi times d. Do we have d in this question? What is it? 5. Great. So we know that the circumference of the circle, I guess we'll call it cc, circumference of the circle is equal to pi times the number 5. Take out our calculator. Clear this. Pi times 5 is equal to 15.7, we'll say. 15.7, and we're in feet. So in other words, the length of this rectangle here is 15.7. Great. So I have a length and I have a height of the rectangle. Can I solve the area of a rectangle? Yeah, we have both. So let's solve the area of this rectangle. We'll do this part in black. So the area of the rectangle is equal to, what is area of a rectangle? It's good. Length times width. What is the length? Yeah, it's 15.7. What's the width? Not 5, but 6. Remember, it's the height of that cylinder. It's the same thing as the width. So times 6. What is it? 94.2? 94.2. Am I finished? That's right. We're still not done. I need to take this information and plug it into the area of a rectangle for the total surface area. So let's rewrite our surface area formula. Surface area of the cylinder was equal to, we already solved the first part. It was 39.26. That's the area of those 2 circles. Plus, now we're taking the area of that rectangle, which is 94.2. What's this going to give us? Anyone know? 94.2 plus 39. Oh, long button.
133.46.
What was it?
133.46.
133.46? You agree? Awesome. Okay, so what are our units of measurement though? We were in what? Feet. And remember, this is surface, what's it called? Area. So what do we put at the end to denote it? Squared. Yeah, we're just adding many areas together. Surface area is taking the area of all the objects, so the circle, and the rectangle, and adding them all together. Okay? So there's going to be many objects and three-dimensional figures.